Hello again. Welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. Paul Schrimpf with Sfiligoj. I'm barely here. Barely here on time.
Yes, I understand. Paul had a 24-hour work day. Those are always fun when you're coming from the Eastern time zone, going to the Pacific time zone, and then turning it into a full day. So yes, Paul, you have my sympathy.
Yeah, it was a breezy day. I woke up at 4 a.m. for the flight, got in, did the show, did a John Deere event dinner, and got to bed about midnight. So
Vegas time.
Vegas time. So that was 23 consecutive hours.
Yes.
Power to me.
Okay. That's
Paid
what
for
5 hour
dearly.
Energy is for, Paul.
When you're 55, you don't want to do that too much anymore. So before we go on, we wanted to say thank you. This is his dealing.
Yes.
But thank you to Grow West for this.
Yes,
Very cool
Grow West. I happened to meet their CEO, Ernie, at the ARA show in December, and he mentioned when the mugs were ready that he would send us a pair. So Paul and I have these nice mugs. Thank you very much, everyone at Grow West. We certainly appreciate it.
Terrific. It's always great to get some new stuff. So thank you.
Yeah, so what did you see while you were in Vegas besides the pillows on your bed as you were falling down into them after 23 hours?
Fortunately, nothing has to stay in Vegas. It was not that kind of a trip, but the Consumer Electronics Show is just a behemoth of a conference. It's everything you could possibly imagine on the consumer side of electronics. Lots of stuff from just the normal electronic stuff, the smart cities, smart cars. The car companies are actually getting in on the whole idea of creating smart cities. So they're helping to what would a design look like? Of course, the end game would be to get a lot of electric cars, a lot of unmanned vehicles out on the roadway. So they're trying to construct the cities probably in their image, future city plans, so that these electric cars can move along.
Which cities? I'm wondering. I mean, some cities are pretty well set in their patterns. I know there's a lot of them where there's one-way streets in downtown. Sorry, Cincinnati, that are really hard to navigate if you don't know where you're going.
And Columbus, of course.
Columbus too,
as well.
Yeah. So
anyway, but yeah, there's I don't know if it's retrofit or new or somewhere in between, but it was interesting technology. Lots of stuff on virtual reality. There's still a good bit of drones out there. Lots of 3D printing. I mean, some of these technologies have been out for a bit, are starting to mature, I think, and we're seeing costs come down. We're seeing more. I mean, there's rows and sections of Chinese companies doing the same thing over and over. It's just like, how many headphone companies can there be? As it turns out, hundreds.
How many heads are there in the world? I guess that's the better question.
Speakers and audio equipment, it's insane.
Now, wait a minute. Now, you teased that when you were going to this show, Paul, that you were going there to see John Deere. What did they have at their booth that was worthwhile?
I'll get to that.
Okay. How about now, since we only have about 6 more minutes of video time?
Fine. I get to go to this exciting conference. All right, fine. So, the main reason I went down to was to see what John Deere was up to. And they had done a booth last year kind of to put the idea in people's minds about technology and what's happening on the farm. And they had such a great response last year and just so much surprise and awe about what's going on in ag. They did it again this year. I think it's something that they'll continue to do. But they actually brought a full-size sprayer in with a boom. And they were demonstrating a bit about the Blue River technology and the future of that. They're talking about the accuracy of the boom sprays, being the ability to control at a nozzle level. A lot of things that consumers, or average consumer or a tech company or tech person that never really was exposed to ag could understand. Some of the things that we're going into. They had a cab decked out. It was kind of they showed the comfort of the cab. The cushy cab. Did you know that? Have you sat in a seat that had a massage chair?
In a sprayer? No, I have not sat in a seat that.
Okay, so I sat and I thought I was being accosted. Like, what is going on in this chair? Holy mackerel.
Oh,
it was
no.
Kind of disturbing. But after they assured me it was normal and that the chair was just massaging, which...
What I'm sure we do not have is the selfie video of Paul being assaulted by the chair, although that would be funny as heck, and I would love to see it.
Or accusing the John Deere people of being accosted while I was sitting in the chair. That was pretty funny.
Oh, good.
But I guess it almost encourages you to reposition your back, just to try and keep your back moving in a different position so that you're not so fatigued. But interesting concept. And we had a great conversation about user experience and how they research research what farmers want, what they may want that they don't even know that they want, or dealers, whoever's operating this equipment for hours at a time, what in terms of being able to see, the visualizing around the way they had the chair kind of going. The chair has an extended reach, so when it turns, it can turn and pivots farther, almost like an office chair, so that you can turn around and see behind you. Okay. Things like that. It just really interesting little nuances that they continue to build on. But I mean, the main thing was to get the message to the public about what's going on with technology, and that's been a message we've been talking about a lot. Is that's really one of the key messages we should be telling the community at large, businesses, people, that farming's not just, it's not just the old school farming. There's technology out there that we're using that's very functional and beneficial and helps in sustainability and all that other good stuff. So yeah, great job by John Deere. They really did a nice job. I mean, there were probably 30 employees running around there.
Nice.
They had a really serious presence and talked to a lot of people.
All right. Well, thank you for the update then from Paul,
Sure.
From Las Vegas, Paul.
I talked way too long. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. A couple other tidbits to share since we're on camera here. The one thing is I found out, Paul, actually looks like here in 2020, something that people were predicting for us back in the early 2000s. Looks like it's finally going to happen. It sounds like this year Brazil will finally surpass the U.S. in soybean production globally. So about 20 million metric tons higher for Brazil versus the U.S. for 2020. And that's the first time that's happened, Paul. And a part of the reason that's happening, of course, is with the U.S.-China trade situation going on. There's been more Brazilian soybean heading out to China and other countries as well.
Yeah. Well, the question is, if we get righted with the trade war, will that baseline come back to where it was, or is that baseline gonna stay up higher for Brazil versus us? I guess nobody really knows, and I think that's one of the things that folks are particularly concerned about is whether we're going to get that business back or not.
Yep. Well, we'll have to see. We'll watch as we go through the 2020 spring season. The other thing to share, Paul, is I noticed I got a press release on January 5th regarding a personnel change at Syngenta. And sort of in that press release, there was a little note saying that something that's been long rumored now for a couple of years is actually formally happening. The folks at ChemChina, who own Syngenta, and Sinochem are actually going to be combining their agricultural assets here in the first quarter of 2020 and under a new holding company that's going to be called Syngenta Group. So, Paul, this has been long speculated on since board members were being replaced by one company of the other. So it looks like this is finally coming to pass.
Yeah, not much to add other than we're just going to have to keep an eye on how that ultimately affects the U.S. market in terms of pricing and approach to market and things like that. I really don't have a sense for what it's going to do, but
yeah, it may not do much, but I mean, yeah, it's still important because I know, like I say, I remember attending a meeting back in 2017 or 18 where this was speculated on by the speaker, Jim DeLisi. So it looks like it's now finally happening.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So next week, Paul, I'm going to be at Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Agribusiness Classic in Madison, visiting that show, seeing all the new equipment and hearing from folks on topics like weed resistance and fertilizer in some of the seminar sessions. So if you're in Madison next week, look for me on the show floor.
Yep. And then I'm going to be in Seattle all week at our Precision Ag Vision Conference. There's still time to sign up if you're so inclined, but it's really exciting. We've had some really terrific late signups, as the show has shown a tendency to do. And when it comes to these kind of events, when you're talking about kind of futuring and
Sure.
and higher level people, they don't really care. They'll sign up at the last minute. And we have a lot of interesting folks that are going to be coming to the conference. So we're really excited about it. It's going to be fun.
Yep. So next week I'll be in studio with a special guest. Not Paul, but we'll find out all about Paul and my adventures the following week. So thank you for joining us, and
Sure.
We'll see you again soon.
Absolutely. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below.
Your feedback is important to us. We'll try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode.
And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.